In the past video, we had discussed about Nestle and its upcoming possibilities. In this particular video, we will discuss about this guy called as Reliance. So, you know, Reliance, if we start tracking, we should consider these important ups and downs. So the recent multiple top was at 1600 odd zones. It crashed to the levels of roughly 800 zones in the recent down move, 800 900 zones, right? And it again climbed higher to its life high, right, at these zones. Now, important thing one needs to understand, and when we trade intraday or swing, or that particular mindset when we have, not as an investor but as a trader, when you look at, so what are the important levels and the logics we need to consider in the stock. Let's check with that particular mindset. So right now Reliance is trading at 1430, right? Important zone for Reliance, if you check my Nestle, and I do recommend do check out Nestle analysis, you will find replica of Reliance in Nestle, some sort of replica here. So simply the chart of both are in front of you. You will find some sort of similarities in both of these stocks. For more, you can go through that video. Now coming on it will be a short video where we will look its upcoming possibility. So in Reliance, if you see, after this one-way up move, and up move because of what? Multiple deals, multiple news flow in the stock, and multiple eye-catching headlines of XYZ 1000 crore, right? And this is why the rally took place. So do you think this rally didn't discounted that particular news? Well, when you are a trader, you should be able to understand that the rally has to be discounted in this particular zone. Now what one has to understand is, I'm not saying it will crash down again to these levels. Please understand, it's not a recommendation, neither a trading advice. This is, we are understanding, we are learning a logical analysis, how to make things simple and how to actually trade logically. So now what happened is, the stock moved one way upside, and just like Nestle, it given a down move. Here it went up, but here it is open equal to high, right? So open equal to high means what? The very moment it opened, the stock, despite n number of tries, didn't move at the end of the day to the higher zones, right? So that is one thing. Whether that important level was important, now we have to analyze that. So here this was the multiple top, then this particular resistance will act as support, right? So this acted as first support, it tried to close above it, but what happened after that? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 days continuous sideway below that particular level, right? So what it suggests is nothing but that buyers are unable to take the price higher to the upper levels, and they are multiple, after multiple attempts, they are completely failed. So what can happen? So if Reliance has to move up, the important resistance it has to cross, on positional time frame, it has to be in the zone of 1470 to 1480. It has to give a close above these levels, and the moment it does, there will be some sort of short covering, or there will be some sort of fear in the mind of bulls. Till then, the moment it trades below these zones, the downside is quite open and it is quite visible, because this move was fast, so the fall will definitely be faster as well. So one important thing here, there is a gap. So kindly note, apart from this upper level, this level is the previous support zone as well on daily frame. So this is nothing but the level of 1300. So no matter what, you should not you should be practically ready that Reliance cannot go down below this level, unless a very bad news arrives. That is first case. So because this gap will act as a massive support zone for Reliance in coming days. Now it is still very far away, so we cannot just blindly short it and expect 1300. what we have to expect, or what are the targets, or what are the reasons why we have to look for a short is it failed multiple times to cross these levels, and now for the first down move 3 days this was the resistance. For the another upcoming days, that is recent 3 days 4 days, the resistance taken place at what? So let's erase this 1460 level, which is nothing but the kind of what you say, this level, it is kind of open of this day, and now it is acting as a hurdle. So leave 1490, leave 1478. Reliance first have to cross 1460 on closing basis to make a kind of fear in the mind of what? Bears. So first of all it has to cross 1460, and then we will think about the upper level. So 1460 will act as an immediate tough hurdle on closing basis in Reliance. That is case 1. Case 2, it is trying to trap multiple times the bears, and it is moving in a very short narrow range. From last 7 days it is moving in a very short range, which is nothing but 14 roughly, let's say 1400 to 1430 1440 or so. So either side it breaks, the move will be faster. That is true. The stock suggests the move has to be in downside as far as the price action says, with my stop loss on intraday defined as 1460 odd levels, while my positional stop defined as 1480 roughly odd levels. And the down move that I see in Reliance, as far as the price action says, it has to stop first at 1350 1355 odd levels. Always take at least 5 rupees as your buffer, or at least 0.5% as your buffer. So it will take support, first support at 1350, and after this it has opened downside up to these zones of 1320, or let's say even 1300 odd levels, which is nothing but a gap support. So overall what I see in Reliance in coming days is, with the stop at 1480, my personal view is bearish unless and until there is a condition here. It has given a close above 1480 any given day. Of course, no matter what my view will be, it will get negated on that particular day. It may come down again, there cannot be any deny. But if it gives a close above these levels for at least 2 days, it will definitely turn bullish the very next moment. Unless and until that happens, the move is still visible up to first 1350, which is quite 80 bucks move, and I will not sell it the very moment at 1430 because stock won't open at 1430. Yeah, on Tuesday it will either open gap up or gap down. One has to be there. So if it opens gap up in the zone of 1440 1450, definitely with small stop loss, even for intraday I can look for sell. For positional, definitely with 1480 stop, one can look for the target 1350 to, let's say, 1320 1310 zones we can look for. So that is case 1 we have done. Now if we go in multiple studies of moving averages, let's see how moving average try to give you any kind of view or any kind of direction in the stock. As we discussed on the chart as well as the moving averages, multiple moving averages collide in the zone of what? 1350 to 1360 odd zones. So this is what chart says, and this is what the first prima facie. So apart from that study, when we put moving averages as well in this particular stock, we find that the first prima facie support comes at 1345 to 1350 zones, or let's say 1360 zones. So at least even on the moving average side, the support is not nearby where one can take long. It has to be even if one wishes to. So the first support comes at 1340 to 1360 zone, where one can look for your the long position, and where the technical support as well as the moving average support takes place. Another important level that if the down move continues, and if any kind of bad news arrives even in the market or even in the stock, the second support as per moving averages, it has to be in the zone of 1250 to 1260 zone. So on the as per technicals and as per moving averages, we have discussed that first support will be at 1350 60 zones, while the second one at 1250 to 1260 zone. On technical basis, always the gap we have to look for, not going long, but at least to stay protected from any kind of short covering because the gap is where many people might have get trapped, on the short side. So what these people will do, they will try to cover their position. I have learned these things from this place called as Trading Campus. I have learned these. Gap is a place where many people might have trapped, and they will try to look for a relief. And definitely when these falls come, the trend of the stock becomes bearish, and any rise will definitely be a sell. But not any level is a sell. So there is a difference. Sell on rise and sell on any level. Any level, when you get a stock like Yes Bank or all those kind of scrap things like iBull or all those stuff, these are the stock which any professional trader, they can look for any sell, because fundamentally they are damn scrap. So any rise people will try to exit. Anyways, what I was saying is, this is the place where I learned all those things, and definitely my learning is based on my particular experience as well. But this particular place definitely helped me a lot. Ronak sir definitely been a guide, a brother for me, and he definitely personally taught me a lot of great things, and it was a pleasure learning from him. So this is kind of you can visit this place. Now coming on this particular thing, so I think I'm clear with Reliance. We have discussed this particular red candle, the important level of 1480, why it has to be a positional stop, why it is forming lower lows on charts, and the moving averages support, the technical support. I think we have done with Reliance. And if you like this video, kindly please subscribe and like, please share. Why? Simply it supports, gives you kind of motivation to do more. And what I am trying to do is simply whatever learning I have learned, if I can share with you, that will be something beautiful. Do subscribe, do share this thing, as well as one can go through my this thing Twitter. You can go through my Insta with the same name, and Twitter with the name Pratik2358, Instagram _Pratik2358. Shower your love, suggestions, etc. to mention in the comment. I'll love to reply. Thank you.